Hi everyone. So I started filming the tutorials for this week, and I realized that at the very start, we invoked a couple commands that we hadn't actually discussed a lot in class that are ultimately very important and foundational for your work in R. So this is a quick video about packages. So what a package is in R is it is simply a set of functions that someone has built and added appropriate accoutrements such that you can load this package, this set of functions into your R environment, and then go ahead and call these functions and use them. And so ultimately, it's not a whole lot different than if you create a function yourself, which we'll show you how to do in a couple weeks. But essentially, it's sort of a standardized and regular approach to accessing other people's functions that they've made publicly available for all. Packages can live in a variety of places. So some people actually store their packages on GitHub, and you can install packages directly from someone else's GitHub repository into R. The primary place, though, is in a place called CRAN, C-R-A-N. And I actually don't remember what CRAN stands for. We can ask Liza in lecture if she remembers. But in any case, it's sort of the central repository for R packages that is regularly updated and maintained, and packages in CRAN are continually tested for whether they're compatible with the most recent version of R and sort of details like that that are useful. So RStudio makes it really easy to handle packages visually using sort of point and click methods. There is a packages tab in the bottom right pane that you can pull up that shows what packages are already installed on your computer. And so in my case, if I go to the packages tab, I've already installed a whole bunch of different packages in R. You likely have a smaller set. You're probably thinking though, why do I have any installed packages at all? And so we can actually test that. We can use the function installed. So installed dot packages. And if we just open and close a parenthesis and run that, what it'll print out in the pane, and it's not super visually appealing, but R will give you a list of all the packages that are installed. So in my case, again, that's a super long list. In your case, it's likely shorter since you're new to R, but there's still some packages installed. So what those are is those are sort of base R packages. And so those involve the functions that we've already used in class, such as str and data.frame and type of and class and other things we've used to sort of examine vectors and then see what their properties are. So those are base R packages. They just sort of are installed when you install the R program. For this lesson and in the future, there are going to be other packages that you want that don't ship with R when it's installed. And so specifically today, we're going to use a set of packages that that fall within the umbrella package called the tidyverse, or tidyverse. So right now, it's going to actually show up if I start typing tidyverse in my computer because I've already installed it, but we'll go ahead and reinstall it. So the way you install a package in R, or at least a package that you know is already stored in CRAN, is you simply use a function called install.packages. So install.packages, open a parenthesis, and into that function, as a string variable or as a character variable, type the name of the package you want. And so in this case, we want to install the tidyverse package. So I'm going to type tidyverse. Now I'm going to run that line of code. So install.packages, tidyverse as a character. Okay, in this case, R is giving me a funny message because it says, hey, you've already installed this and you've already actually loaded this package. Do you want to restart or what's going on here? I'm just going to click no and let it reinstall. So a whole bunch of code is likely to print out in your console. Most of that doesn't matter. It just says, hey, we've downloaded it. Here's where it's stored, yada, yada. As you become more advanced in R, some of that stuff might matter. Also, if there's an error message, you'll want to go ahead and read that more closely to figure out why the package didn't install successfully. But in this case, the package downloaded and we seem to be good to go. The next step, though, is you actually have to load the package into your environment. And so the term R uses for that is attach. And so essentially you attach your working environment to that package, and then you can call those functions just like you call base R functions such as str or data.frame. So the function you use to attach a package is the library function, library. And into library, we're now going to type the name of the package. So in this case, we want to load the tidyverse package. One thing you'll note is that when we're installing a package, we call the package name as a character string. When we're loading a package in R, once it's already installed, we simply type the name of the package as an object name rather than a character string. And so there's no quotes around tidyverse. There's some idiosyncrasies beyond that, and sometimes you can use a character in certain circumstances, but as a general practice, best way to go here is use characters when you're installing the package and then use an object style name when you're loading it. So here we go. We're going to run library tidyverse, and we're actually not getting any messages here, just that code runs and tidyverse shows up. The way you can confirm that it's installed and it is working is you can start typing the name of the package. And you can see in my case, my tab complete box actually starts showing up with different tidyverse functions and gives me the opportunity to use them. So the tidyverse is good to go. One other thing you'll note, and in this case, because tidyverse was already loaded, it didn't show up. So I'm going to go ahead and restart my session. Now I'm going to load the tidyverse package again. And now I'm going to get a bunch of messages in my console that show all the different packages that are being attached. And so the reason it's showing this is some packages are standalone. So you simply load it and that package is here. But the tidyverse is an umbrella package for actually a whole bunch of sub packages. So packages we will learn such as ggplot2, the Tibble package, purr with 3 R's, dplyr, dplyr, and tidyr, tidyr, which we will both use in lesson this week. And so what R is showing you here is, hey, when you said load the tidyverse package, when you called library on that package, I actually loaded 8 different packages at the same time. There's also another message that shows up that says conflicts. And what conflicts are is a case where your package has the same function as another package. And so in this case, there's a base R package called stats that has functions called lag and filter, and dplyr has those same functions as well. And so what R is saying is, hey, you need to know now there's some ambiguity. If you ask for the filter tag, if you ask for the filter function, now I'm going to go to dplyr, but there's also a filter function in stats. And so we can talk more about how to deal with that later, but just so you're aware, that's what those messages mean. In this case, not catastrophic, and you can go ahead and ignore it and we can move on. Okay, so hopefully that gave you a quick overview for how to install a package. So for instance, a good challenge to try is at some point we will want the lubridate package in R, lubridate, lubridate. And so let's go ahead and call install packages on lubridate just to get it installed here. I'm going to go ahead and install lubridate, call library on it. And if you have completed the challenge correctly, I actually got an error. It was already pre-imported, but I bet if I restart my session again and simply call library on lubridate, it will load, gives me a couple messages. But in any case, so you'll know you've successfully completed the challenge if you can install and load lubridate. All right, thank you.